Birth of the Curse. In a small village hidden among the hills covered with dense forests, there lived an ordinary, milk-white and gentle goat named Zora. Zora was loved by all the villagers, especially the children, who often came to pet her or give her breadcrumbs. But although it looked like a simple animal, the goat had unusual intelligence, its eyes shining with a light that seemed almost human. But Zora was no ordinary goat. Her story was rooted in ancient legends, which spoke of a forgotten witch, Leora, who had cursed the village centuries ago. Leora was said to have been banished from the community after people wrongly blamed her for an epidemic that killed many children. Before leaving, she left a warning: "The purest of you will become your worst nightmare." Years passed and the curse was forgotten. Zora, born to a family of ordinary goats, seemed to be the ideal animal of the village, until one fateful night. The curse is triggered. That night, a violent storm hit the village. The lightning split the sky and the wind blew the roofs of the houses. The frightened villagers gathered in the small church in the center of the village, praying for peace. In the midst of the storm, Zora disappeared. When the villagers found her the next day, she was in the middle of a clearing, her eyes red as fire, her body deformed and fangs protruding from her once gentle muzzle. The curse had been activated. Zora had become a monster. A bolt of lightning is said to have struck the ground next to her, triggering the transformation. From then on, the cursed goat began to leave the clearing, roaming the forests, searching for lonely people who ventured too far from the safety of the villages. The first victims, the first attacks were brutal. A young forester who had gone to collect wood never returned. When the villagers found his remains, they were horrified. His body had been mutilated, and the marks on his neck suggested that he had been torn by the fangs of an animal. But there was no wolf near, and the tracks found were of hooves, large, open, goat-like hooves. The legend of the cursed goat spread. The villagers began to tell each other stories by the fire about the creature that stalked the lonesome. It was said that the Zora could move silently through the forest, stalking its victim for days before striking. The forest, the realm of darkness. The forest where the goat lived became a feared place, which no one dared to cross. The trees seemed darker, the shadows longer, and a strange sound of hooves on the ground haunted those who approached. The forest, which had once been the source of life for the village, became the symbol of death. The villagers started asking their elders about the curse. A wise old man, who knew the story of the witch Leora, told them that there was only one way to break the curse. The goat must be brought back to the meadow where it was cursed, but no one who tried to catch her survived. End of the chapter. As fear spread through the village, Zora continued to hunt, leaving behind only silence and horror. The villagers watched helplessly as their realm became a place of nightmare, and the forest took turns swallowing anyone who dared to disturb its peace. But soon a group of brave young men would decide it was time to end the curse.